Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to our learning or teaching video again for this week. This is our fourth week or fourth meeting, yeah. And we're going to look at two different kind of skills, skill 5 and skill 6. Skill 5 is coordinate connectors and skill 6 is adverb clause connectors, yeah. And this is a grammar and academic class, discourse class, and it is being facilitated and instructed by myself, Helena Rijoli, and also accompanied by, or I'm being accompanied by my wonderful, amazing lecturer's assistant, Miss Wensi Nusi. Okay, so we're going to continue talking about several different things. On the previous video, or previous meeting, we have talked about the difference between phrases and clauses. So be very careful. Remember that phrase or phrase and clause or clausa is two different things. The easiest way to remember is that clausa have subject and verb, sementara phrases is just a group of word. Okay, cuma sekelompok kata-kata. And usually phrase itu ada banyak jenis. There are several different kind of phrase, ya. Ada noun phrase, ada verb phrase, ada adjective phrase. Jadi, so if I can switch to bahasa Indonesia, ya. Kalau kita bilang noun phrase atau frase kata benda, itu artinya sekumpulan kata-kata yang berfungsi sebagai kata benda atau yang berfungsi untuk menerangkan kata benda. For example, if I take a noun, kalau saya ambil satu contoh noun, yaitu a tree, ya, tree, itu satu kata, and then itu belum jadi frase ya, frase berarti kumpulan kata tree. Berarti kita sekumpulan kata-kata ini terdiri atas kata benda utamanya, noun phrase, main noun, and then modifier dan quantifier ya. Modifier itu yang memodifikasi, yang memberikan informasi tambahan dan penjelasan tambahan. Sementara quantifier itu yang menjelaskan jumlah. So contohnya kata tree ya. Tree yang bagaimana? Contohnya dead tree. Ada dua kata. Kalau ada dua kata itu sudah bisa disebut frase. Dead tree. Kemudian dead tree yang bagaimana? Pohon pisang yang mati ya. A dead banana tree. Udah ada tiga kata. Dead banana tree yang mana? Dead banana tree behind our house, for example. So it can be long. There can be so many kumpulan kata-kata. Tetapi kumpulan kata-kata itu berfungsi sebagai noun. Kalau itu adalah noun phrase. Kalau verb phrase berarti kumpulan kata-kata yang kemudian merujuk kepada kata kerja tersebut. Tapi kita kemarin sudah belum masuk di verb phrase. Saya hanya loncat untuk penjelasan. Sementara klausa adalah kita kadang-kadang bisa sebut dia sebagai anak kalimat mungkin, atau kalimat yang kalau klausa ada dependent clause, klausa yang berhubungan dengan main clause dan seterusnya. Tapi intinya klausa adalah ada punya subject dan ada punya verb. For this week, we're going to look at not just phrases and clauses, but we're going to look at connectors. Kita akan lihat konektor. Connectors di sini means penghubung, ya. So we're going to look at different types of connectors. Please pay very good attention to this. And if you have any more questions, please feel free to write down your questions below. Oh, one more thing. My video of explanation video must always use more of English. I must use more English in my explanation because you guys are already in the fourth semester, so you need to make yourself more accustomed to listening to English, to explanation in English. Okay, but if you don't understand anything, please ask your questions, but please ask it in Bahasa Indonesia, and we will reply it with Bahasa Indonesia as well. Okay, so enjoy the learning today. Before we move on to the skill, Let's talk about clauses because in a sentence will have multiple clauses sometimes. It can have two or one, two, or maybe more, depending on how complex the sentence is. But before we continue, let's talk about a clause. What is a clause? A clause is a group of words that includes a subject and a verb. So remember, a clause is sort of like a, a sentence within a sentence, yeah, but it is dependent, I think, to the sentence, to the main sentence. A clause can function as an adjective, adverb, or a noun. It is different from a phrase, yeah. So you have phrase, phrase, and clausa, clause. A phrase does not contain a subject and a verb. That's the main difference, yeah. For example, if you see it here, the sentence Anna sings, when we say Anna sings when she wakes up, that is a clause, because there's a subject and a verb. The subject is she and the verb is wakes. Next sentence, Anna sings in the morning. Now, that is a phrase because in the morning, in that Anna kalimat, you cannot find any subject or verb. So that is like a plain difference between a clausa and a phrase, a clause and a phrase. So as an example of a clause function, a clause function is as an adjective. You can see in point number 1, my friend who has autism is brilliant at quizzes. In the yellow part of the sentence, it's who and verb. So who there function as a subject and of the clause, and has is the verb. Now it is a proof that this is it function as an adjective because who has autism can be replaced by one adjective word, which is, if you can see over here in the gray area, my autistic friend is brilliant at quizzes. Autistic there replace the word who has autism. Okay. Number 2, clause functioning as a noun. I cannot remember what happened last night. What function as a subject in the clause and happen is the verb. This function as a noun because what happened can be replaced. For example, I cannot remember a thing, and then you can add last night, which is adverb of time, yeah? But what happened is replaced with a thing, a noun, something, yeah? A clause functioning as an adverb. He put on weight when he stopped running. In our situation, we can say, I put on weight when social distancing is being enforced, for example. So, but when he stopped running it's an adverb clause. The subject of the clause is he, and the verb of the clause is stopped. Now, if we can replace that. He put on weight when something, when he stopped running, can be replaced with something else. Quickly. He put on weight quickly, for example. Let's choose an adverb because rapidly increasing the weight because he stopped running. All right. Let's move on to still with sentences with multiple clauses. English sentence can have more than one clauses. Yeah. In a TOEFL test, you'll find questions with more than one clause. So it's important that you make sure every subject has a verb and every verb has a subject. This is the skill number 1. You will see that throughout the TOEFL test or TOEFL preparation, this is one of the important or the basic skill you need to have. Then you need to make sure that each clauses are joined correctly using different kind of connectors or conjunctions, etc. Clauses are joined in a sentence using a connectors. Yeah. So in the next 6 skill, we are going to look at the pattern of sentence. Okay, so we will start with the first one for this week, which is skill 5, coordinate connectors. Artinya kata penghubung kalimat yang coordinate. Now we'll look at what does coordinate means and how do you use it? How do you use the connector in this kind of sentences? Okay. Coordinate connectors, there are, I list 4 here, but there are several more. We will get to it, yeah. Coordinate connectors join clauses of the same kind or the same type or the same likes. Now, what does this mean? It means that it joined nouns with other nouns, adjective with adjective, etc. For example, you can see below. The sun was shining and the sky was blue. You identify the subject, which is the sun and the sky, and the verb is was shining and was blue. Was shining and was blue is what type is it? It's an adjective. They are adjective. Was shining and was blue. Yeah, and then it is connected with connectors and. The sky was blue, but it was very cold. But, so there is what do you call, vice versa, is it? Contradictions. But it still connect adjective and adjective. Was blue and was very cold. It may rain tonight, or it may be clear. This is like a statement, yeah, a state of something may happen or may not. And then it was raining outside, so I took an umbrella. This is cause and effect, but still it connect or joined similar type of clauses. The first clauses, it was raining outside. It's giving a state of what happened outside, and then I took my umbrella. It's an action. 2 actions are joined together. If you see, if you're using coordinate connectors, this is what I still make mistakes or make an error, is I forgot to put a comma. So according to the grammar, you must actually put a comma over there if you're doing connectors. Yeah, if you're connecting 2 different kind of clauses. Figure that. I also learned something there. And for example, let's see the example. Yeah, I forgot my coat. I got very cold. So this probably will be one of the questions you will encounter in TOEFL. And you have 4 options: then, so, later, and as a result. Okay, if you can get the answer. Now let's have a look at the options. Then, so, later, and as a result. Immediately we can take out A and C, then and later. Although later can mean too. I forgot my cold, later I got very cold. It means something else, but it means, it has a correct meaning as well. You can understand what it means, but we're talking about connectors, especially coordinate connectors. So those 2 are not coordinate connectors. That leaves us with so and as a result. As a result, I forgot my coat. As a result, I got very cold. that can also work, but A, C, and D works more on an oral, yeah, on a spoken sentence, because as a result is not a connectors. Yeah, you can use that to start a sentence, but it's not a connectors. The only options with a connectors in there is so. So naturally, the answer is B. Let's look at the other example. She laughed. She actually wanted to cry. Then, so, but, and next. Then and next is not, which is A and D, is not connectors, so we take them out. That leaves us with B, so and but. Both of these are connectors. She laughed, so she actually wanted to cry. She laughed, but she actually wanted to cry. If you read this, you not just based on the structure, but based on the meaning of the sentence, yeah, the semantical meaning of the sentence, you can sort of sense that but is much more correct, because laughed and cry is 2 different things. It's opposite of the thing. Yeah, laugh and cry, those are opposite things. So the connector so is used more on giving like cause and effect. Something happened and the other thing happened. But is a contradictive connectors, and it suits more with the question. So the answer is C, but. So for coordinate connectors, you have and, but, or, so, and sometimes you have the word yet. I know. So when we look at the form, yeah, the structures of the sentence, you have coordinate connectors, but she laughed, but she wanted to cry. Yeah. She is subject, verb is laugh, and then behind it, after the coordinate connectors, you also have another structure of subject and verb. So that's a coordinate connectors. Just remember coordinate connectors and, but, or, so, and sometimes yet. Okay, now you can go to exercise in PDF file, and you can do exercise 5. And now let's move on to the second skill of the week, which is adverb clause connectors. We're going to talk for the next 6 skill. We're going to talk about different kinds of connectors, yeah. And this week we have started with 2 connectors atau penghubung. The first one is coordinate connectors in skill 5 that we have just learned, and now we're moving on to adverb clause connectors. Now, be sure you understand and you can identify which one is coordinate connectors, which one is adverb clause connectors. Okay, and now let's start our learning on adverb clause connectors. Before we move on, let's look at adverb clause. What is adverb clause? An adverb clause is a group of words that plays the role of an adverb. On other book, it also mentioned that adverb clause is a group of words that is used to change or qualify the meaning of an adjective, a verb, a clause, or another verb. So it enhances, yeah, it changes, enhances, add meaning, more quality, etc. Or any other type of word or phrases, with the exceptions of determiners and adjectives that are directly modified by noun. An adverb clauses always meet 3 requirements when it becomes an adverb clause. First, an adverb clause always contains a subject and a verb. Yes. Basically, all clauses contain subject and a verb. Second, adverb clauses contain subordinate conjunctions that prevent them from containing complete thought and becoming a full sentence, which means it is dependent. It is dependent to the main. Subordinate means something that follows, yeah, the main ones. So it cannot stand on its own. It won't have a complete meaning without the main clause. Third, all adverb clauses answer one of the classic adverb questions: when, why, how, and where. This corresponds to the definition above that says that adverb clause change, qualify, enhance meaning, etc. It gives clarifications of when does it happen, why it happens, how it happens, where it happens, etc. Oh, that is incorrect. Ignore the 4th one. Okay, adverb clause modify other words and phrases by providing interesting information about the place, time, manner, certainty, frequency, or other circumstances of activity denoted by the verbs or verb phrases in the sentences. Well done in reading, ma'am. I will give you 2 examples in a sentence below. Jennifer scrubbed the bathtub until her arm ached. Now, we don't have a bathtub in Ambon context. So let's say Jennifer scrubbed the floor of the bathroom until her arms ached. You see that until her arm ache is in ictilic, yeah? So that is the adverb clause. It starts from the word until to the last word ache, or to the end of the sentence. This is adverb clause, and it describes how Jennifer scrubbed. Yeah, it also provides a sense of time period in the meaning. yeah, until her arm ache. So I think it means that she does it for a long time, but also she does it so vigorously until her arms ache. But it can also mean she doesn't work that much. So when she scrubbed the bathtub, her arm ache. But so there are so many different what do you call circumstances in this. Second example, after having my wisdom teeth out, I had a milkshake for dinner because I couldn't chew anything. Poor thing. The ictalic one is because I couldn't chew anything, and that is an adverb clause. It starts from the word because to the end of the sentence. This adverb clause describes why I had milkshake for dinner. It's because I'm having my wisdom teeth out. The connectors add elements of cause and effect meaning to the sentence. Okay, so these are two examples of adverb clause and the meaning it conveys. Now, there are two basic sentence patterns for adverb clause connectors, as you can see in the example below. He is tired because he has been working hard. And the next pattern, because he has been working hard, he is tired. You can see that adverb clause can be put at the end of the sentence or the front of the sentence. However, if you put it in the front, yeah, of the sentence, you need to have a comma before you add the main clause, which is he is tired. Okay. Adverb clause. There are four functions of adverb clause connectors. They are to convey time, cause, conditions, and contrast. You can have a look in this table below. For time, cause, and condition, these are the type of clause connectors you need to memorize and remember. Don't you forget, yeah. Time, after, as, before, since, until, when, while, once. Because, since is for cause, condition is if and whether, contrast is although, even though, and while. For the form or the structure, subject and verb, adverb connectors, subject and verb, atau if you put adverb connectors in the front, adverb connector, subject and verb, and then comma, and then subject and verb. Okay? So remember this. This is very important for you. Yeah, so let me give you an example. Blah, blah, blah arrived at the library. He started to work immediately. We have four options: the student, when, he, and after the students. Let's have a look at the options. The blank is in the beginning of the sentence. So naturally, we are going to look for subjects. Now, A qualify as subjects, C qualify as subjects. But there is a comma. So sometimes you can have a connectors or conjunctions in there. So B is a connector conjunctions, and D after the students is also a connector conjunction. So all four are you can. I mean, it's a possible answer. But let's look at one by one. The student arrived at the library. He started to work immediately. If you use A, there's only, then the sentence have to become two different sentences. The comma needs to be a period, a dot, yeah, because the student subject arrived at the library, done. The ideas for that sentence is done. And then it has to have a period, and then he will become a subject for the next sentence. Okay, so no, we cannot use that one. When arrived at the library, there's no subject. So no, that's not the right answer. He arrived at the library. It has the same case as A, the student. So that out. So that leaves us with D. After the student, so you have a connectors after, and then the student, which is the subject, and then arrive is the verb. Voila, you have connectors, and then you have the subject, which can will accompany the verb arrived. So the answer for this is D. Okay, and now let's have a look at the next sentence. What is the answer? Teresa Teresa went inside, was raining. So we need to find the correct connectors. We have because, when, because it, and when it is. Both because and when can categorize as connectors, but you at the end of the sentence you have the word was raining and it's missing a subject. So because and when doesn't have a subject, we have to look for C and D because it has connectors and subject. If we're using because it was raining, that is the correct one, because if you choose D, there's a when inside when it is was raining, you have is and was, and then that's a double verb. That's a big no-no. So the correct answer is C. All right, now please do exercise C and then continue doing the review exercise 5 and 6. I'll see you later in the next video.